Right, welcome back to another episode of Hooner's Garage. GSX and TZR today, I think. First of all, the GSX is coming up for its MOT. That's due on Wednesday. Now, I know it's going to fail on the headlight because the pass switch doesn't work. The headlight doesn't flash when you hit the pass switch. So today I need to take that apart, clean it up a bit. I don't know, have a look at it, try and investigate, find out why the pass light isn't working. The only other cause for concern that I've got are the indicators. Now, I fitted the LEDs. It had bulb indicators before. I fitted LED indicators, and because of that, I needed to change the flasher unit from the standard one to one that works with LEDs, because a normal flasher unit won't work with LEDs. Something to do with the resistance of the bulbs. It will just flash too quickly. It's flash, flash, flash. So you need to get a special LED one, which I fitted, and the LED, the indicators work fine, but the idiot light on the dashboard doesn't flash. It just comes on and stays on until you cancel the indicators, then it goes off. I'm not sure if that's an MOT failure or what. I guess I'll find that out on Wednesday. But the pass light, the pass switch, I need to find out why that isn't working. So that's job one for today. The rest of that, I'm fairly confident it'll go through. I don't usually have any problems with a passing the MOT. Usually advisories might be brake pads are a little low, but they're okay. Or front tyre getting towards the end of its life as an advisory, but they're both okay as well. So hopefully fix the pass light to the pass switch today. That should solve that problem. I'll have to find out about the indicators. Worst case scenario is I have to order another set of indicators and fit them on the bike, because I've hardwired the other ones to the FJ. There you go, there's another lesson learned. Don't actually do that until you're sure that this is good. But either way, if it doesn't work, they'll have to change them. So no major problem there. And then on with the TZR, I'll carry on with the clock bracket, because I want to get that finished, mounted up on the bike as best I can, and then I can carry on routing the electric cable, the cables, get all the wiring sorted out, tidy that up a bit. I was hoping at some point soon to get the fuel tank and the plastic started, because I'm getting to that point where it's going to be the end of the first dry build, so get everything put on the bike up and running, see what it looks like before you kind of almost tear it all down again. I won't actually have to tear it all down, but the paint, I'll have to paint the tanks and the plastics. So I was hoping to get some of that done soon, but it's a little bit on the cold side to start painting that. And I've got the mirrors on the GSX as well. The stems of those, they're all rusted. They're only a cheap set of mirrors. They're only, I think it was £18 for the pair. Good for 18 quid. I've been very impressed with them, but they're only cheap, so they need to be sanded down and sprayed. But the temperature is just not warm enough to spray here at the moment. So that's going to have to wait for another day. But yeah, so first things first, get the GSX in the garage, get the switch assembly taken apart and find out why that pass light isn't working, and see what we can do to fix it. So that's enough waffle for me. Stick around, stay tuned. Could possibly go wrong. Right, so we've got her in. This is the offending switch here. That's what doesn't work at the moment. So if we turn her on, there we go. So the high beam, there's nothing wrong with the actual beam. That's fine, that works. But when you hit that switch, nothing happens, and that will fail the MOT. So I need to take this apart. And here you can see, actually it looks a lot worse on the camera than it actually looks in real life. But that needs to come off and get painted at something. And there are the walls, or one of them. It's fantastic. I still love that's a fairly old paint job now. That's been on there a few years, but I love those. They're absolutely brilliant. Right, so here we are. This is the switch unit taken off. Now that's the offending switch there, so we've got to get that out and have a look, because I can't see. There's a little knob on the end there. I'm guessing touches onto a connector which is here. That completes the circuit and switches the light on. So find out why that's not touching that circuit, or if there's a break in the cable. But I can't see anything from out here, so I'll have to take it apart. So what I'm thinking here, one of these little LED lights that I've got, this is the switch I've taken it apart. So just to make sure that we've got power going through here, obviously when you push this button, oh hello, aha, that's just typical, isn't it? Well, as I was going to say, I can't believe that. If you bridge the gap on these two cables to make the live circuit, so there's definitely power going through when the circuit is completed, but for some reason, maybe I know, that's not working, or is working. This would be well, there you go, problem apparently solved. It doesn't go on every time though, so I'm thinking it's possibly that there's a dirty connection on here on this switch. Right, there you go, and one fix, one issue that seems to be working again. Damn it. So now that I've successfully managed to fix that, I'll put it back together and stick it back on the bike, and it'll probably stop working. Right, so the switch is now back on the bike, and ta-da! So apparently all you need to do to fix one of these is to take it off and put it back on again. There we go. Right, so high beam, so standard beam, pass, high beam, low beam, high beam, low beam, pass. There we go. Ta-da! Right, so we're back on with the TZR clock bracket. So rough shape, rough holes. I've put these larger holes in there so I can get in with the jigsaw. Be more careful with that this time. But there's no, yeah, just be more careful with it. Don't take it out quite as much as I did last time. And I left a good gap, so keep an eye on that. But yeah, need to make those bigger. Right, so I've sort of placed the clocks over this to hold them in place so that I can put the top plate on from the back to see how far out I need to, how much further out I need to take these. I'm done with the power tools. This is, it's not sat right, but yeah, we're okay all around there. It meets there, and there on this one. Everything else seems okay. That's a little bit over, but this clock has moved, so it should sit something a bit closer in if I hold it above it. So we're not that bad on that, we can get around that. So just a little bit off here, a bit off there, a bit off this side, a bit off the bottom. That one's okay. This one's very much undersized, so a bit off all the way around, but we'll work on this one first. We think. Right, so it's time for a tea break, because I've been at this for ages, and this takes hours. Fabrication. If this is what you call fabrication, and I'm not quite sure that my attempts at making stuff is quite classed as fabrication at the moment, but this takes ages. It really does. There's hours gone into. What time is it now? 1:30. So there's maybe 2-3 hours gone into just cutting these holes out, sizing them out, and then just cutting them back bit by bit with a hand file and with the Dremel with a grinding bit on it, just to take a little bit out at a time so that they fit. Now that one's not too bad. This one still got a bit more to go on that edge there. Not too bad around here, but at this time it's taking it really slow, not taking out any big chunks, just keep going back and test fit and file and test fit and file and test fit and file, and just marking off around the outside where these blue lines are on the metal, how much I need to, where I need to file it down, and roughly how much I need to file it down to. So that seems to be going okay, but we will have to wait and see. After an age of grinding and sanding and cutting and sanding and cutting and sanding and finally it is actually on. And I'll bottle it down. The rear cups are on. The mountings are on. That is actually, that's it. Yeah, it's not the most professional job in the world, is it? But it's in, it's there. Fits all the way around, there's nothing showing. This still needs to be bent up so that it sits at the same angle as that, and then you can put the indicator lights and the idiot lights on that. Let's put it back into focus. is the general plan. It has warped a bit where I've been working it, probably because of my heavy-handedness. So, but it does pretty much take up most of the gap. Some of these I haven't put all the rubber washers on these to force it up because it's not flat along there. So the next thing to do is to flatten all that out. It's just almost as buckled as the stuff I couldn't be asked to replace it with. So yeah, that's going to be the next one. But there we go. That's the general. That is the general plan. So now I know that that fits on the bike. The next thing is to cut out the keyhole for the ignition hole, which should go in there, and then hopefully we can get it test fitted. Right, so we are on, and it doesn't actually need to bend this up. I mean, it could do, but I haven't. Just finished it off, well, yeah, dressed it a bit so it fits in around here and around the ignition. So in here I can put the turn indicators, LEDs, the high beam and the neutral, I believe. Right, so there we are, sort of dashboard fitted. It still needs to be finessed a bit. This shape needs to be brought more in at the top here, so it's like the same thickness all the way around. So I still need to work on that. That's going to take a while. High beam, left indicator, right indicator, oil light, neutral light. Those little LEDs are in. It is all mounted up, but I haven't connected the cables back up. But I think I am going to go with Joe's idea and paint that white rather than have it shiny. This bit will be black, but that shiny bit around there will be white to match the white that's on the side of the engine casing down there. So I think what I'll also do to pick out the white some more is this outer casing here. I'll either get that sandblasted and repainted white. It's not these wheels that are on the bike at the moment. These are just because that's the drum rear brake, and this bike has had a conversion for a disc rear brake, which is that wheel. So that wheel and that wheel need to get sandblasted and then powder coated white. So I might get, or probably will get, that and this headlight surround powder coated white at the same time. So then we have a black and white theme going on. I reckon that'd be quite nice. There we go, fitted and on. I've still got to dress this a bit, and I have warped it somewhat in the fabrication process, but not as bad, I have to admit, as the original dashboard, which is broken. Well, that is broken, and that's the original valance or whatever it is, cover, decorative cover for the bike. Completely useless, that. So that's a new one. So I've just got to find a way of making those, flattening this out somehow, and then we can put the extra bits on the bottom, squeeze it together, and paint it up and call it a day. And then we can get all these cables fitted in behind it, get the electrics wired up, fuel tank on, oil is already in, so the fuel tank on, rest of the wires connected, and hopefully get it test fired really soon. I think that about covers it for this episode of Hooner's Garage. It's been a few hours I've got out today, and I think I've made some progress. Got the pass light working on the GSX, so hopefully that's now ready for the MOT. Like I said, I don't know about the flashing light on the idiot light on the dashboard, whether that's an MOT requirement or whether just a light coming on will suffice. I don't know. Guess I'll find out on Wednesday when it goes in for its MOT. Dashboard on the TZR, that's coming along quite nicely. It's still a ways off of being finished. It's just a rough cut at the moment. I'm still probably going to need to dress it up a bit, certainly around the top edge of the clock to make it look a bit nicer, spray it white, and I think get some rubber hose, black or white or something, I'm not sure, probably possibly black to edge it off, and then slit the rubber hose and then just feed it around the outside like a trim around the outside, and hopefully that will cover up for most of the little blemishes in the edge, and it'll make it look nice and neat as well. So yeah, all in all, a good day. So there we go. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, thanks for subscribing, ride safe, and I'll see you on the next episode of Hooner's Garage.